In many ways, there's been a lot of change going on in marketing for a long time. So I guess really the question of the day is what's unique about this change, and is there really some fundamental difference in this change versus other changes that we've all experienced from a marketing perspective? So what's really changing? Certainly we have a much more transparent world today than we have in the past from a consumer perspective. Increasing consumer control gets talked about a lot, expanding fragmentation, both medias and channels. Advancing and evolving technology and the use of that technology, both by consumers themselves and by organizations, and fundamental changes in the way consumer decision-making is evolving. Ultimately, these changes are really changing the way, in my view, not so much how we must respond as marketers, but I think the real evolution here, from evolution to revolution, is the context of, it's really changing the context of creating competitive advantage. I think marketing's day to really transform competitive advantage inside an organization has actually arrived, much like probably existed 30 or 40 years ago with the invention of TV and network mass communication and branding. But I think actually that day is still an important dynamic here, but I think a new evolution of competitive advantage is starting to exist. Why? I really think it's digital. It's all about digitization. The digital revolution is actually creating the customer revolution. I think competitive advantage in the future will live in how effectively we can organize, to understand, engage, measure, interact, and influence and change behavior of an individual consumer. So ultimately, all of the things we're talking about is really how do we really transform this intelligence and this capability into managing an effective relationship with a consumer. Managing generally meaning accelerating positive and decelerating negative behaviors, because ultimately, that's what creates the value of an organization. So why is this really happening? In reality, I think the evolution of this is really about granularity. Technology is creating a new degree of granularity. So we went from the mass days to the targeted or segment days in the 80s and the 90s to triggered behaviors and capabilities primarily in mobile and email and social today now. But now we have sort of the whole conversational marketing approach happening. And the challenge with any of these things is it's hard to create competitive advantage. If we wanted to push in $100 million onto network television today, how long would it really take us to do it? Probably might be able to get it done by close of business today, but you can certainly get it done in the next 24 or 72 hours, something in that kind of time frame. Go try to push $100 million into triggered marketing. Go try to push $100 million into conversational marketing right now. The challenge is as we get more granular, the ability to really push in heavily here from a dollar perspective actually gets increasingly difficult. So we need a methodology and a capability to better understand how do I make these investments in appropriate ways.